All right, what is up, everybody? Matt Modi here with another live stream episode of Fast Break Bets on the Betting Pros YouTube channel, of course, hosted by yours truly. New time for this day. We'll be doing it at 11 a.m. moving forward for the next couple days, just to kind of see how things go. So 11 a.m. every Wednesday and Friday moving forward. What I'm going to be doing, if you are new to these live streams, giving out at least one pick for every single game on the NBA betting slate. As for today, we have 8 games, but I actually am going to have 11 picks. So a little bit over the 10 total, which is fine. So while you are tuning in, appreciate you for tuning in. Would appreciate it if you could get those questions / comments in the chat. I do have up on another screen here. I am monitoring the chat. So any questions, comments, concerns, whatever you want to shout out, would appreciate you putting that in the chat, and I will give you a shout out as well. And then while you're there, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, turn notifications on, share this stream with your friends. Let's get in front of as many people as possible. We've been pretty good on the streams so far, which we'll get into in a little bit. Of course, you can find me pretty much on any social media at my handle at Jedi Modi. To do a quick recap from last show, which was last Friday, we had our best night of these live streams. It was our 4th one. We went 6-4 overall on our 10 picks. The winning record is not what you should focus on. What you should focus on is profit and loss. On Friday, we ended up plus 3.5 units. Best day of the slate. Best day of the streams. We kind of had been hovering around 500 in terms of profit loss since then. So that makes 4 days of doing this up 4.85 units overall. Of course, I track everything on the Betting Pros app. So definitely would recommend everybody download the app. You can find it bettingpros.com/apps. What I love, I would say the most about the app is the prop bet cheat sheet. I use it for basically every player prop that I lock in. They give out not only their own projections, but then basically recommend whether you take the over or the under based on their projections. And they give out the positive EV and the cover percentage of those plays as well. You can follow me and tail me on the app, bettingpros.com/Modi. While you're there, you can also get a free trial of the premium offering, which is what I use, which is great. And then it also syncs with your sports books, which is amazing. So you don't need to do that yourself. Now it's time to get into these picks. And again, one pick at least for each game. And then we are going to have a couple picks in multiple games. Again, get all those questions, comments, concerns, whatever it may be in the chat, and we can get started. So play number 1, and we're just doing this in the order of when the games are played. So not choosing favorites or anything. Mavericks versus Wizards. I'm taking the Wizards plus 6.5. You can find this at minus 115 odds at BetMGM. So I was essentially EV shopping with this play. Every single book either has this at 6 or 5.5. And for a main line for main sport like the NBA, those point/half point differences are pretty big. And it's what I love about using the app is you can price shop for this type of information. So you can look and see. You can kind of pick off if a sports book is mispriced compared to the market. Now, in terms of the actual matchup, I am not going to sit here and tell you that the Wizards are good by any means. Absolutely not. But they're not as bad in terms of just advanced stuff as they were to begin the year. Last week, I was on this stream. The Wizards were the worst team in the NBA according to net rating. As of right now, they're currently the 4th worst team in the NBA according to net rating. That's progress. The Mavericks, meanwhile, this is mostly a fade of the Mavericks as opposed to liking the Wizards. And to answer Andre's question, yeah, these are all 1-unit plays. I track them all as 1 unit. Obviously, if there's certain ones that you don't want to take, you're not going to have 11 units risked, but that is what I take individually, and that is what I track as well. Thank you for the question. But as I mentioned, this is, as I mentioned, a fade of the Mavericks. They're 8-3. So if you just look at their win-loss record, you think they're good. But in terms of just advanced stats, I don't believe that they're as good as their record shows. And I do expect them to drop off here shortly. They're 9th in terms of net rating overall. Teams like the Knicks, the Pacers, the Thunder, the Rockets are all ahead of the Mavericks. In terms of winning straight up, yeah, the Wizards are probably going to tank it away in the end, like they did against the Raptors, with just an epic tank job. But I do think that it stays close in this one. Again, mostly as a fade of the Mavericks. That's play number one. Number two, in the Knicks versus Hawks game, I'm taking Jalen Brunson over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. This is at -115 odds at FanDuel. So this was a play that I did find directly on the Betting Pros app on the cheat sheet. This was a 38.4% positive expected value play. And in terms of projections, they project him to have 10.7 rebounds plus assists. So closer to 11 than the 9 that we would need to cash the over, which is obviously good. If you wanted, and if you could find it, depending on what book you lose, or excuse me, what book you use, what you could do is pump up the numbers a little bit and have him go 10 plus to get juicy odds. Obviously, we're just tracking the main line of what you see in the comment, what I have been saying, but that is an option to do. So in terms of Brunson, he's only hit this in 4 of 10 games. The main line, talking about the over 8.5, in 4 of 10 games so far this year. It's been a little bit of a slower start for the Knicks offense and for Brunson. But looking back to last year, which I know can be a little bit dangerous because things obviously changed year over year, but he was consistently going over this number. And the Knicks roster isn't dramatically different from what it was last year. I mean, they had Josh Hart to end the year. It's really just Dante DiVincenzo off the top of my head for the difference in the roster. They still have Barrett. They still have Randall. They still have Quickly and all those guys. Last year, he averaged just about 10 rebounds plus assists. So over the number that we are projecting him at, over the number that we need him to get. So I do expect him to start accumulating more of these stats, more of the rebounds, more of the assists. And then real quick, I do want to do a quick break to talk about the Betting Pros Discord. I'm in the Discord. I put all my picks in the Discord as soon as we hop off of here for people that aren't able to tune in. I'll wait a little bit to do that. But I love the Discord. If you're looking to up your game, I would recommend looking no further than the Betting Pros Discord. You can find it, bettingpros.com/chat. In the Discord, there is a team of expert handicappers. They give you free picks, and that's the key word here, free, because there are a lot of paid Discords, a lot of paid nonsense out there, but free picks. We're in the most exciting time as a sports bettor with college basketball starting, NBA starting. We have NHL, NFL, college basketball, college football, not only just main lines, but player props, live betting, futures, basically anything you could ever want is in the Discord. So get in on the action. You can connect with individuals like yourselves, who I'm assuming are sports betting enthusiasts if you are tuning in to this. Also, what I think is really valuable is you can also enhance your strategy, so you can get insight from the experts in the Discord. So join the Discord today. Take your sports betting experience to the next level. Next up, I do have 3 picks in the Celtics versus 76ers game. Not because I'm a 76ers fan, just because that's how it worked out. First up, I do have a play on the main line. I'm taking the Celtics -4.5. This is at -105 odds at the new sportsbook ESPN Bet, which is basically just transferred over from Barstool. If you don't use ESPN Bet yet, you can get it at -107 odds at Bet Rivers. In my opinion, there are a ton of reasons to buy in on the Celtics in this game. Number one, the Sixers are on the second night of a back-to-back, and these two teams just played exactly 1 week ago today. That resulted in a Sixers victory. Everybody that's been tuning in to these live streams, and just me in general, know I love fading recent events like that. Another reason, Embiid last night, heading into last night's game, was questionable. Not only did he end up playing, but he ended up playing a season high in minutes as well at 37.7. So I could see him either sitting this one out entirely. Now, he's not on the injury report. So as of right now, it's not looking like he is going to sit this one out. But that is always a possibility with Embiid, with rest. If he doesn't sit this one out, he could not play as many minutes, or he could just be limited in the minutes that he plays. Now, looking at the Celtics, they do have Porzingis and Jaylen Brown currently listed as questionable, but as of right now, they're both projected to play. We'll have to monitor that as the season goes on. And then looking at, again, the last time these two teams played, the Sixers won. You guys know I love fading recent events like that. basically because the Sixers just won makes me want to bet the opposite of it. Also, taking into account the fact that the Celtics are the Sixers' kryptonite and the Sixers just cannot beat them, only in the regular season. I know this is still a regular season game, but still, I do think that the Celtics are going to be able to come away covering the 4.5-point spread. Same game, Celtics, 76ers. I also like Jayson Tatum, 30-plus points. This is one of a few pumped up props that I have for today. Tatum's been awesome. The Celtics have played 10 games. Tatum has scored 30 or more points in 6 of those 10 games. And I know that the Sixers defense has been good this year. But again, as I mentioned, they're on the second night of a back-to-back. Also, while we're on the topic of fading recent events, Tatum had his worst game of the year by far in that game against the Sixers. He only scored 16 points. He only attempted 14 shots. That is by far the lowest number of field goal attempts for him on the season. He also only attempted 6 from deep. That's the second lowest. And he made 2 of those 6, which is tied for the lowest. And it's not as though the Sixers have Tatum's number. There are some matchups where the player struggles against the team. That's not the case with Tatum in the Sixers. I don't enjoy saying this, but Tatum kills the Sixers. He put up 50 in Game 7 last year, just stole the Sixers' soul. In terms of a bonus pick, I do also like him to go over 3.5 made 3-pointers. That's also plus money. I'm just going to track the points, but as a bonus play, I do like that. And then our last play in the Celtics 76ers game, kind of in line with what I've been saying. Embiid under 31.5 points, minus 109 odds at Caesars. As good as Embiid has been this year, I do think it's time to take his under. The thing is, it's such a high number, 32 points. He could score 30, still have a great game. Obviously, the under would have still hit in that scenario. Now, this is a number that Embiid has gone over in 4 of his last 5 games. The one game that he missed was against these Celtics. And unlike the Tatum situation, I do think that there is something to Embiid struggling against the Celtics. They've had different iterations of their team over the past 6 years of Embiid's career, but they have consistently had the bodies to hang with Embiid in the post. Horford has always had Embiid's number, and then Porzingis is a pretty good defender. They even put Drew Holiday on Embiid to success last time they played. So they have the players and the defensive infrastructure for Embiid to struggle. In his last 11 games against the Celtics, Embiid has only gone over this number 4 times. That also obviously includes the 7-game playoff series. Again, as I mentioned, second night of a back-to-back. He might not play his normal allotment of minutes, again, after playing a season-high 37.7 last game. If he does play his normal allotment of minutes, he could be limited in those minutes. And then if he gets the night off, this will just be voided. No harm, no foul. So that's the end of my Sixers versus Celtics picks. I just want to talk about the giveaway that we are giving for the premium subscription for 1 year to the Betting Pros. As I mentioned, premium subscription. It's a giveaway. If you want a chance to win the premium 1-year subscription, first of all, you're in the right place. You're in the live stream. All you need to do, if you're not already, is subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Hopefully you have done that already. If not, definitely hit that subscribe button. And then all you need to do after that, just comment. You can comment anything that you want. You can roast me. You can say nice things about me. You can say very nice things about Betting Pros. We would love that. All you need to do is subscribe and comment. The Betting Pros premium subscription is your place to bet smarter, not bet harder. Everybody knows that in life, it's about working smart, not working hard. Grind culture is lame. It's all about grind smart culture, which I'm going to, that's me putting that one out there. So again, all you need to do is subscribe, comment, and then in terms of announcing the winner, it's going to be announced right here on this channel. So make sure turn notifications on. If you're not already, you can be alerted when new episodes are up, and then you can claim your prize. Next pick, and this is our 6th one in the Bucks versus Raptors game. We're taking Damian Lillard over 5.5 assists, minus 115 odds at PointsBet. This was another play that I found directly from the Betting Pros app, the cheat sheet. 39.7% positive expected value play. Betting Pros projects him to have 7.4 assists. So obviously a couple assists over this number. And also the lower the totals are, the bigger the difference between them becomes. If you're talking like NFL player passing yards, 288 to 290 is not a big deal. 5.5 assists to 7.5 assists is a big deal. So this is another situation where you could take an alt line. You could take 7 plus, get plus money based on these projections. In terms of the matchup, I'm not going to pretend that Dame has been awesome this year. There's no doubt that it's been a slower start for him and for the Bucks in general. But Giannis has been cooking the past couple games. So the expectation here is that Dame continues to feed Giannis, that they keep on working on their two-man game. Dame and Giannis at pick and roll is lethal. Hopefully it leads to a ton of assists. I do expect the Bucks in general, and specifically the duo of Dame and Giannis, to start performing better. But it's mostly strictly an EV play on this one. So that's kind of why I like it. So that was our 6th pick. Scott, good to hear. Love that you were able to get these on Underdog. Next up in the Magic versus Bulls game, we're taking Zach LaVine to go under 26.5 points. It's minus 110 odds at BetMGM. I know that DeMar is out on this one for personal reasons. The first game DeMar has missed this year. That personally does not scare me off of this play. Dating back to last year, because he's played in every game, so we don't have any data from this year. When LaVine played without DeRozan, yes, he was better than he's been this year, but he's still about 50-50 in terms of going over. He literally hit in his last 6 games exactly half. He went over 3, he went under 3. So this year, granted, again, DeMar has played every game, but the Bulls and Zach LaVine have not been good. So it's not like LaVine is having as good of a year as he normally does. LaVine has only gone over this number in one game this year. That was when he put up a 50-burger against the Pistons, who have lost, I believe, 9 straight. At this point, very much not good. Outside of that game, LaVine has yet to go over 24 points. Not only has he struggled and have the Bulls struggled, but their matchup is pretty brutal against the Magic as well. The Magic have sneakily been pretty good on defense this year. Looking at raw stats, looking at advanced stats, they allow the 6th fewest points per game at 107.9. Defensive net rating, this is on NBA, gives them the 5th best defense in the NBA in the NBA. And then another reason why I like this one is because both teams play at a pretty slow pace. The Bulls play at the 4th slowest, the Magic the 11th slowest. So not expecting a ton of possessions in general in this one, which obviously means less chances for points to be scored. Yes, I'll admit this one, it's always scary taking it under for LaVine because he can be a flamethrower and can just go off. But that has not been the case at all this year. He has not looked good. So I think fading him is the way to go. That's our 7th pick. We got 4 more. Next up in the Timberwolves versus Suns game, give me the Wolves. This is a mainline play, plus 6.5, minus 115 odds at BetMGM. Yay, the Suns trio is playing for the first time this year. Big whoop. Don't care. Does not scare me off. First of all, it is their first game together, so you'd expect a little bit of growing pains. And not only that, it's not as though the Suns have been a well-oiled machine already this year. They already have growing pains to work out. Now you need to take into account that all 3 of Beal, Booker, and Durant are playing together. The Suns are currently sitting at 4-6. They have the 16th ranked net rating, so they're very much average to below average. And having them together, the first 3 of them together for the first time, I do not expect there to immediately to be fireworks. And then on the Timberwolves side, they started slow. They started 1-2. They've won 7 straight since then, including some incredibly impressive wins in that stretch. They were the first team to beat the Celtics. They were the first team to beat the Nuggets. They've won 2 straight against the Warriors, one of which Steph did play and was before the fight. So a full rostered Warriors team. The T-Wolves won. They have the 4th best net rating in the NBA. They have the singular best defense in the NBA. I wouldn't hate sprinkling their money line. It's plus 205 at Caesars. We're only tracking the main line that they cover, the plus 6.5 points. Love that one. And then I've mentioned a couple times now that I use the app for all of these picks. I highly recommend downloading the app if you have not already. You can follow me, bettingpros.com/Modi. I use the cheat sheet for all of these player props. I love the recommendations. I love the projections. I love the EV. I love the percent chance of the cover percent, which they give you as well. The app is incredible. You can use it for player props. You can use it for main lines. Again, you can tail all my picks on the app. And then via the app, you can also get a free trial to the premium subscription that I've been mentioning. And it syncs with your sports books. Don't manually track anything as won or lost. Let the app do it for you. It's amazing. Again, definitely recommend downloading it. bettingpros.com/apps. 3 more. We got 2 picks in the Kings versus Lakers, and we got 1 pick in the Cavs versus Blazers. First one in the Kings Lakers, we're taking De'Aaron Fox over 2.5 made 3-pointers, plus 130 odds at FanDuel. So Fox has only played in 4 games this year. He's been pretty good in those 4 games, including his 3-point, just in general, his attempts, his everything. He's hit this number 3+ 3-pointers in 2 of 4 games. So if he continues to hit at a 50% rate for plus money, we are profiting. One game that he missed was his most recent game, in which he attempted the fewest number of 3-point attempts in this short game, a short sample size this year. He attempted 6, shooting 2 of 6. So he missed it by 1, and he also shot 6, and that was the only game in which he's shot fewer than 7. He's turned himself into a pretty good shooter, which I always love as guards play longer in the league when they can develop a jump shot. When you come in as athletic as he's been, or as he is, your jump shot always comes last because you don't need to use it in high school and in college. So I like the fact that he's turned himself into a good shooter. Again, only a 4-game sample size. In those 4 games, he's averaging 7.5 attempts from deep. And again, the only game in which he averaged fewer than 7 was last game. He had games against the Warriors this year where he attempted 9 and made 5. Against the Lakers, who is the team he's playing tonight, he attempted 8 and made 3. If he can get up 8, 9 3-pointers, I love that for this plus money play. Dating back to last year, he's been shooting more recently. He's made 3+ 3-pointers in 6 of his last 9 games. That's very nice. The Lakers also give up a decent amount of shot attempts from deep. They give up 37.5. That's 23rd in the NBA. So plus money play on Fox making 3+ 3s. I like. Next up, Kings Lakers again. We're taking Domantas Sabonis over 36.5 points, rebounds, assists. This was another massive positive expected value play on the Betting Pros app. 39.5% EV. They project him to have 43.6 points plus rebounds plus assists. So again, we're taking over 36.5. If you want to pump the numbers up, 40 plus, whatever, you can get some plus money odds. And even with Fox missing time and Sabonis not being quite as good as he was last year, he still hit this in 6 of 9 games. Again, that's very nice. He's also hit this in 3 straight games. In the 4 games that Fox has played, he's hit in 3 of 4. Granted, the one game he did miss was against the Lakers, but I don't think that there's anything matchup specific against the Lakers. Last year, Sabonis hit this in 2 of 3 games against them, and Fox played in all of those games. Now, Sabonis, if you just look at like a wider sample size, his last 30 games, Sabonis struggled, had an 8-game stretch, 7 of which were in the playoff series against the Warriors. So he struggled in the playoffs, and he struggled right before that. He missed it in 8 straight games. So the 7 playoff games, 1 before that. Outside of that 8-game stretch, Sabonis has hit this in 17 of 22 games with De'Aaron Fox. So it's a little bit juiced, the minus 120 odds, but I really, really like it. It's, again, the Betting Pros projections have him at 43.6 in this number. So very, very good. And last up, 11th and final pick of the evening, Shaedon Sharpe under 21.5 points. This is at minus 115 at FanDuel. In terms of the comment real quick, Tabula Edward player props, the picks consist of player props / main lines. So you can kind of get a mixture of whatever you are looking for. But Shaedon Sharpe under 21.5 points, as I mentioned. Last pick of the evening, why not hammer another positive EV play on Betting Pros? 36.6% expected value. A 73.1% chance that he covers, meaning that he goes under, that he covers our play, meaning 73% chance that he goes under 21.5 points, with the Betting Pros projection at 17.8. So looking at Shaedon Sharpe, even with an increased usage, Scoot has missed a bunch of time. Now Brogdon's been out the past couple games. Even with that, he has not taken the leap that I was admittedly expecting. I was super high on Shaedon Sharpe heading into the year. So on the year, Sharpe has played 5 games without Scoot. He's only gone over 21.5 points exactly one time. In that game, he scored exactly 22, and that was against a train wreck of a Grizzlies team. So 5 games, he's gone under 4. In the one game, he barely went over. In 2 games, missing both Scoot and Brogdon, small sample size, only 2 games, but still, that's what's going to be the case tonight. 19 and 17 points in those 2 games. On the year as a whole, not taking into account whether someone's played or not, he's only gone over in 3 of 10 games. And I think this is a situation where he's young, so people are expecting him to take the leap. They have players out, so his usage has increased. So the books are pricing his point total higher, honestly, than what it should be. But he's just not been playing well. So that you can kind of explain away why he's consistently gone under as much as he has and why the number in terms of the over-under is still what it is. Looking at the Cavs, I was high on them heading into the year. That's another early L for me. Their defense has not been nearly as good as they were last year. Now they're basically their entire team in and out of the lineup, but for this specific game, Garland, yes, is out, but defensively, Mobley and Allen are in, and they are the linchpin of the Cavs defense. So I do expect them to get it together. Last year, the Cavs had literally the number 1 defensive net rating in the entire NBA. As of right now, they're 17th, and I project their 17th defense to improve. I don't think that they're quite an easy matchup that it looks on paper. So Shaedon Sharpe to go under 21.5 points, I really like. That rounds it out. 11th and final pick of the evening. Remember to subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel if you are not already. Remember to like the video, all that good stuff. In terms of the quick breaks that we had, check out the Discord, bettingpros.com/chat. I'm in the Discord. A ton of expert handicappers are in the Discord. It's completely free. Completely free. Again, you don't see that a lot. There's a lot of paid stuff out there. Not the case. You can also get a 1-year premium subscription. We're doing a giveaway for that for 1 year. All you need to do, comment on this video, subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, turn those notifications on because that's where the winner will be announced. And then make sure to download the app, bettingpros.com/apps. As I mentioned throughout my picks, I use the app for basically everything that I do, for player prop projections, for line shopping on main lines, all that good stuff. I track all my picks there as well. So follow me, bettingpros.com/Modi. And that's it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, you can find me at Jedi Modi on pretty much any handle. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I will catch you Friday, again, 11 a.m. Eastern, every Wednesday and Friday. And have a good one.